All right, greetings all. Let's talk about the Save the Ecosystem project. I have it pulled up in student view here, so this is what your modules look like. And let's talk about this project. I'm going to open it up. When you open it up, you will see that the bottom portions are grayed out. That's because we have this module set up so you have to complete them in order, all right? You have to start with day one, day two, finish that, submit it, and then wait before you get an okay from your teacher to move on. Okay, so that's kind of conceptually what we're seeing here. You'll see the rubric up at the top, all right? You'll be able to look at that at any time. I'm not going to go over that right now, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and go to Save the Ecosystem Project Day 1, 2, which is an overview of the whole project and will get us started. So I'm going to open up that in Drive so that we can all see it nice and big on our screens here. So Save the Ecosystem, Days 1 and 2. The premise is that you are an ecologist from the Matagorda Bay area near Galveston. Recently, members of the United Nations have come together and decided that they must eliminate many ecosystems from around the world to make room for the world's growing human population. Beginning in 2025, certain wetland, rainforest, and desert ecosystems are scheduled to be destroyed. Requests have been sent out to ecologists around the world to identify specific ecosystems for redevelopment. As an ecologist, you're troubled at this prospect, so you decide to take the opportunity to defend an ecosystem instead. You and your partner, which will have to be in your class, will identify and defend one ecosystem most worthy of saving. The UN has agreed to hear your arguments in April when they meet in New York City. They've asked that you make a presentation to defend your ecosystem. You're going to be expected to include information about the ecosystem's habitats, populations, animals, plants, food chains, the way it benefits humans, as well as other relevant information. Members of the UN will pose questions, so the presenting group has to be ready to defend their ideas in a live setting. It's important that you persuade the members of the UN to keep your chosen ecosystem alive. Your first step is to decide which ecosystem you should be saved from elimination. You and your partner must research a few ecosystems, one from each biome, gathering 8 vital pieces of information about each ecosystem. Then you will decide on one specific ecosystem, research it thoroughly, and create an argumentative presentation to address the United Nations and convince them to preserve your selected ecosystem. So, here's an overview of the process. Getting ready for the UN, a 5-step process. These are the steps of this entire project. We are going to be starting off here with step 1, which you'll see is days 1 and 2, where you gather evidence, deciding which ecosystem is most important to save. You'll use initial research questions on the next page, in other words, step 2, to gather information to make a decision. All right? So, step 2 is making a claim. Having made your decision, you'll show your teacher your research, get the okay to do that ecosystem. Only one group per class per ecosystem. Step 3 is researching your specific ecosystem. That's on days 3 and 4. Step 4 is creating the presentation. And once you get to the point that you've submitted 1, 2, 3, and 4, those 2 separate assignments, you will then be given a template that we've got that you can access to put all your information down. So you can't create your presentation until you have done all your research and created and gathered all your information. Right? Step 5 is to plan, strategize, think about the questions. Okay, because this is going to be presented live. You never know what kind of questions people will give you. Step 8 is actually making the presentation, or step 6, making the presentation. So that's an overview of the whole project. We have 8 days to do this. Step 1, starting today, is to decide which ecosystem is most important to save. To do that, first, you have to answer these questions. General questions about each one of these biomes. Okay, rainforest, wetland, desert. How would you describe them? What animals are there? What plants are there? What food chains exist? What ways do they benefit humans? And what importance do they have to other locations around the world? And what would be some specific effects of the loss of these ecosystems? What species would go extinct if these ecosystems were destroyed? So these are all the pieces of information you're going to need to gather. So I'm going to pull back down from the main presentation. So those are all the questions you are going to need to answer. Now, after you've answered those questions, you and your partner will choose one ecosystem to make the argument for saving. Now, I'm making this recording in advance of my day one. My day one, I'm actually going to be absent. So students, you will be, if you know who you want to partner with, you can contact your friend, and y'all can work on this. If you choose an ecosystem, be prepared with a B and a C choice as well, because it will be first come, first serve. And on Tuesday, when I come to class, at the beginning of class, I will be taking requests for people who want specific ecosystems. All right. So the first step is answering all the questions. The second step is identifying from these lists the rainforest, wetland, and desert biomes, and choice 1, choice 2, choice 3, which ones you want. And let me show you how I'll be doing that. This is a copy of the page that I'll be tracking the groups in. So every student will be in a group and they will have an ecosystem. Okay. So that's the start of the project. Let me get that out of the way here. And as we proceed, once you have decided what ecosystem you want, the next step is you get the okay to do that, and then you begin doing specific research. And that is in the second assignment. Okay. Once you have finished this, each of you will submit this to in Canvas, and then we will move forward from there. Okay. Back to the main page. Let me get out of student work here and over to the project. So when you complete day 1, 2, you submit that, both of you. Once you've decided and you've been authorized which ecosystem you're going to do, you will then open up ecosystem project day 3, 4, and you will just follow those instructions there. Each of these assignments is set up to basically be self-propelling. All right. Once you're in, you just follow the instructions and keep moving through it. So project 3, 4, which would be on day 3 and 4, is you will read through these, and I'll make another recording for these later. Okay, but that's the startup of the project. I will be seeing you guys on Tuesday, and we will identify ecosystems. All right, I'll have a good one. Bye bye.